It's mailbag time right here on the Ravens Rundown. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your host, Joey Petersen. Every single one of the loyal members of our Ravens Rundown flock got in the comment section of our live show on Tuesday, and they asked me some awesome questions. So that's what we are answering on today's show. And guess what, guys? It's the best time of the year because football season is just around the corner. And if you got some people in your life that are really big Ravens fans, but you need them to lock in even more, share this video with a friend. Let's help grow this fan base as much as we can. We all know 5, 6, 70 Ravens fans out there. So if you do me one big favor, share this video. I would really, really appreciate it. Let's get into our first question of the day from Attendance Squad. In your opinion, how do you think the training camp for Lamar Jackson and the whole team is going? A great question, Attendance Squad. It's hard to answer this because there's up and down days, kind of like with everything. Lamar's had up and down days. The Baltimore Banner released their stock up, stock down report where they polled 21 media members who have been at training camps, and they voted on Lamar Jackson's grade so far, and he got a lot of votes for the B to B minus range. Now, that doesn't make me worried about him at all for the 2025 season. He's going to be an absolute beast. I know that. I'm confident in that. But I think there's been good days and bad days, right? I think it's kind of going a little bit middling. There's been a lot of penalty problems. There's been some issues on other sides of the football, right? But for the most part, every single day, they're seeing some big plays from the guys they're going to need some big plays from in the 2025 season. And because of that, I think you got to chalk a lot of that up to some success. Next up, we got Kimberly Harmon. Who gets first sacks, Stark or Mike Green? I like that. My gut tells me, obviously, Mike Green because he's an edge rusher. But I want to get spicy today. Give me Malachi Starks coming in on a safety blitz. I don't know who he's going to sack. I don't know who it's going to be, what week it's going to be. But first sack of the regular season between Starks or Mike Green, give it to Malachi Starks. You heard it here first. Well, coming up, if you were to make a 7-on-7 team out of the Ravens roster, who would you pick? Okay, so I'm going to make a 7-on-7 team that has to play both ways. Okay, so I'm choosing one quarterback, he doesn't have to, and then 6 receivers and 6 other players. Okay, give me Lamar, obviously. I want LaJohntay Wester. I want Zay Flowers. I want Kyle Hamilton. I want Dayton Wade, Rashad Bateman, and one more athletic guy. Give me Nate Wiggins. That is my 7-on-7. You got a lot of athletic freaks on there. I think it'd be a really good team. I'd love to see Lamar Jackson in a 7-on-7 setting. I think Kyle Hamilton would be awesome in it as well. Zay Flowers, I feel like his style of football, every time he catches the ball, he almost wants to go anywhere but upfield. And I feel like for 7-on-7, that's something that works really, really well. Joe's coming up next. How many touchdowns and interceptions will Lamar Jackson have this year? Well, last year he had 41 and 4. I think he's going to take a little bit of a step down in touchdowns, a little bit of a step up in interceptions just because 41 and 4 was unbelievable. So give me 38 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Not that much different and still a phenomenal season, okay? But last year was like one of the best seasons a quarterback's ever had in the history of this game. Coming up next from Matthew Petersen. Will hashtag Ravens sign Za'Darius Smith? No, I don't think so. Now, he has had his history with Baltimore, right? He's played for this team, played for this franchise before. He's still available at the recording of this video. But, I just feel like they're confident in the group that they have. Unless, David Ajabo and Tavius Robinson go out in the preseason games and training camp and look terrible or get hurt, that's the only reason they'd sign Za'Darius Smith. But I think they're confident in the edge rushers they have. Okay? I really think they are. And so I'm going to probably lean towards no. It's your turn to vote, though, on that same exact question. Should the Ravens sign Za'Darius Smith? Give me a yes or give me a no in the comment section down below. If you think Baltimore should bring back the edge rusher that's currently a free agent, I think he wouldn't be a bad addition, but I just don't know if he'd be useful on this team. You let me know your answer. Hashtag Ravens record predictions for this year. That's a great question. I think it's going to be 11-6 or 12-5. I think the ceiling is like 15-2, 16-1. Honestly, the ceiling is probably 17-0 because this team can win every single game they play. But I think it's going to be somewhere around 11-6. You got a really, really tough stretch in the first 4 games. You play on the road week 1 against Buffalo, then you have the Browns, then you have the Lions, then you're on the road again in Arrowhead. So you kind of got to get out of there. You'd be happy to go 2-2. And so I think 11-6, 12-5, that's kind of where I'm going with it. Jacko is up next. Would it be smart, do you suppose, if there's blowout territory, 17 plus in either direction, regardless of who's winning, they'll pull the starters against Detroit? I guess so. Interesting question, talking about a week 3 regular season game. But yeah, I guess that would be smart. If it's late, right? We saw this team give up a ton of late games last year. Obviously, the loss against the Browns, the loss against the Raiders, the almost loss against the Cowboys. They made a super big push late. And so if it's like halfway through the fourth quarter, you're up 17, and you have the ball, then yeah, I'd pull the starters. Up next, we got Ravens 76 B more. If Jaire balls out and stays healthy, do you think Ravens potentially offer him a contract extension? My gut tells me no, Ravens 76 B more, and not because they wouldn't want to, but mainly because I think he'd be priced out. Like if Jaire Alexander has a really good season, there's going to be somebody that's going to offer him more than Baltimore is going to be willing and able to, okay? Just because you got to think of the other extensions they're going to do over the next year or they're going to need to do over the next year. And I don't know if Jaire at a really, really expensive price is going to fit that, okay? I think another team would kind of outbid for him and, he'd be gone. Make sure that you get this before they're gone. Purple hoodies. Chatsports.com/purple hoodie. $34. They were $70, now $34. And I know it's summer. I know it's hot. Trust me, we live in Dallas. That's where we're based out of. I get the heat. But winter is right around the corner. That means 40-degree, 30-degree, 20-degree days in Baltimore are just a couple of months away. And don't let that time come and then decide you want a new Ravens hoodie. Just go ahead and get it now where you can get it at this awesome price. $34. Chatsports.com/purple hoodie. Made it super easy for you. Put it in the links or put that link in the comments and description of today's video. Up next, we got Boggs. Scale of 1 to 10. How big of an impact does Wester carve out for himself this preseason? I think a pretty big role. Now, that lessens significantly when the regular season rolls around, but for the preseason, I think that's going to be a 6 or 7. I think there's a good chance after the end of every single preseason game, we're sitting here talking, saying, wow, Wester really, really showed what he's able to do. Wow, he was really, really impressive. I really hope that happens. So give me a 7 because he's going to do a lot in the offense, and he's also going to be the return guy as well. Young boy, coming up next. Does Ruben Lowry have any chance to make the active roster, perhaps over JAD? Yeah, I think Ruben Lowry is going to make the roster. This team is known for giving UDFAs a shot. They did it last year with Bo Braid. They typically do it every single offseason. I think Ruben Lowry is the guy who's impressed the most of all their undrafted free agents, okay? He's had a really, really good camp. I talked about the Baltimore Banner stock report article that came out the other day. His stock up, he had the most votes for stock up of every single person on this team. And so I really think he's got a good chance. The only thing that's hurting his chance is how deep that cornerback room already is. But regardless, I think they'll take a shot on him. Up next, we got attendance squad. What do you think Baltimore's preseason record will be? I'm going to say 2-1. Give me 2-1. Okay? That's my thoughts. That's my prediction. You let me know what y'all think down below in the chat, but give me 2-1. Win 2, drop 1. It is your lucky day. Okay? You found a place to go for daily coverage, live analysis, live watch parties right here on the Ravens Rundown. Congratulations. So happy that you're here. Now all you got to do is make this thing official and hit that subscribe button. Join us today for all of those things, 100% free all year long. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Next up, we got X-Lite. Who's winning the national championship? A little bit of college football question. X-Light. Thanks so much for putting that in here. If Arch Manning is good, and I'm not even saying Arch Manning has to be what people are putting Arch Manning up to be. People are thinking he's the second coming of Christ, right? We had Paul Feinbaum say he's the best player since Tim Tebow. But if he's like really good, I think Texas could win it. They always do a really, really good job of backfilling in the portal. They've got a really, really good team. He's got really good weapons behind him, and he might be the best quarterback in the country. Okay, so maybe Texas, if Clemson could stay healthy because they play in an easy ACC conference, they're going to make the playoff. I think Clemson might have a shot. And Penn State, will they be able to win the big one? That's the big question for them, okay? They got a good team. Drew Aller could be the best quarterback in the country at the end of the year. They've got a lot of really good pieces. A lot of people returned from that Penn State team last year. Will James Franklin be able to put it all together and win the big one? That's going to be the big question. So those are three teams that I gave you. If I had to choose one of those three teams, I think I would choose the Texas Longhorns. What Ravens game this season will Lamar Jackson have the most yards? Okay, I think it's going to be Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati is going to be the answer to that question. And I say that one because a lot of times if it's against a bad team, he's not going to play half of the fourth quarter, right? I could easily say Browns. I could easily say any other team, the Jets. But, like, he might get pulled from that game or they might just run the ball a ton. For Cincinnati, if it's anything like last season, those games are going to be shootouts, and that defense did not get any better, Cincinnati's. And so Lamar's still going to be able to have his way with them. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals game. Last up, what's the biggest trap game in 2025? #Ravens. So I got the schedule pulled up here. I think a trap game could be week 2 against Cincinnati. Or excuse me, not against Cincinnati, against Cleveland. Because you're just coming off of week 1 against Buffalo, and then the 2 weeks after that game, you have the Lions and the Chiefs. So I think the Browns game could be a trap one. Another trap game, I think, could be that Jets game on November 23rd, because right after that, you get Bengals, Steelers, Bengals. And so that could be a game that really you kind of overlook. You're already going to be pretty tired. You've played at that point like 5 weeks straight, 6 weeks straight without your bye week. And so I think those are the two. I think it is the Jets game and the Browns game that's on week 2. What do you think is the biggest trap game for the Baltimore Ravens in 2025? Let me know your answer in the comment section down below. I gave you mine. Now it's time for you to give me yours. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Make sure you get me on Twitter. You can find me on, or get me on social media. You can find me Twitter, Instagram, @JoeyPetersen8. More than anything, though, make sure you subscribe to the channel right here, youtube.com/RavensTV.